as it get to the part where you said the humbleness came when I was 16. Like I said, it's a story behind it. I've been in church my whole life. And in the mix of that, living in the world and living outside of the world.
Right.
Going to church, I was outside of the world. Living in the world, I was living the hood life. Everybody go through it. You know what I mean? So basically, biblical wise, it's called serving two gods. I was there for a minute. It gets back into my personal testimony was when I was 16, I got stabbed 6 centimeters from my heart. 6 months later, you take a rule, I got stabbed 6 inches away. So that's 666. Okay. So I took it as if the devil couldn't take me, it's only one person who got me, and that was God. God brought me up out of that. You know what I mean? But it still shows, like, you got a kid, your kid disobey you, ain't but so many times you're gonna have to pop on their butt for a minute, you know what I mean? For them to learn and do what they gotta do. And that was my main humbling experience. I was in church all my life. I remember when they were stitching me up, the lady said, I don't know if you know God, but right now you really need to pray. So the lady said, I started praying, then I blacked out, I died. Next thing I know, I woke up. She said, I continued off praying where I stopped at. It's like me and you were just talking. I'm like, yeah, so Carrera woke up. What's going on with that thing? You know what I mean? It was just like that. That's not coincidental. That was God giving me confirmation. You know what you gotta do, but I can't force you that way. You gotta make your own decision. Right. Like it says in Genesis, God gives us all free will to do what we have to do. Some of us take the right road, some of us take the wrong road, some of us take the right road at the last minute.
But it's the right road.
It's the right road. So that's where the blessings come from. That.
Facts.
We all know somebody that we call God. Everybody has somebody that they call God. You know what I mean? So with that, I don't get too much into it because I look at it like this. With my ministry, I'm a firm believer of if you know that there is a God, it's no excuse. You know humbleness. So you know right from wrong. It's no excuse. But sometimes it's people that don't know. It's people that really don't know, and it's people that really just don't care. They don't care nothing about it.
And that's where the music becomes interesting. So I want to give a shout out to Shy Skills from down the hill, Elizabeth Ave. Shy Skills is one of the MCs that I hear so much about, and he was the one. But he fell back from hip hop and went straight into faith. And even today in his walking direction, the Most High is what comes first. And everybody's like, yo, how did you was right there, you was about to, and he's like, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. And I go through that right now.
Talk about it.
I go through that right now, and it got to the point that I just brush it's a piece of lint on there. You know what I mean? It's cats that's throws money up in my face. Yo, you can make this, you can make that, you can make. I said, what's the use of having it all to kill my soul for it? You know what I mean? I'm continuing. I know where I came from. I died right now. I'm on God's time. So you know what? If God was, I don't want to say it in a bad way, don't misconstrue what I'm saying, but if God is that cocky to be like, yeah,
I'm gonna do what he do.
I brought you back to life. I owe you. So if nothing else, you want me to serve you, that's it. Jesus, you got that.
Yeah, there's mercy.
That's easy. But still, as human beings, we still fall short. Why? Because we're not perfect.
You know what? I'll rock with you on that. But you can be perfect. I think that's one of the biggest bullshit excuses I've ever heard in my life.
But when you
Every man has, and woman, and child has the ability to be perfect.
But when you say that to say that though,
you gotta get deeper than that.
Yeah,
perfect
but perfect
is what?
Yeah, but his
Balance.
Balance without flaws.
No, that's not true.
No,
listen.
True.
Well, balance ain't the word, but I'm saying perfect. To be perfect is to not have any flaws.
No,
every man.
Not.
But listen to what he said. You got your own song.
I'm gonna break it down.
But you got your own song, perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
But that don't give you balance. That gives you balance, but that doesn't make you perfect.
That doesn't
but
make you
perfectly
flawless.
Flawless
Flawlessness
is a whole that like you can't do no wrong.
Oh no, that's what I meant. No, that's what I meant by that.
Flawless.
But I put the wrong.
Flawless means righteous.
Righteous.
So
yeah.
we're trying to be righteous.
But we will
because
never be.
The Bible says how the Most High can live forever because He's the definition of righteous.
Exactly.
So you want to be on His
the
accord.
I am. He's
so
the
then,
I am.
So then you are working towards righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
But as a man, you can be perfect.
And you got every reason to.
David was considered the perfect man.
Yeah.
But what did he do? Think about it. We can't use sin as that makes me not perfect. It makes you not righteous.
But
you're trying to
anything
get to righteousness.
But am I right on this? Anything that's not of God that you're doing that's not of God, and the way I break it down so a lot of people can understand it, if you're not living the way God wants you to live, right or wrong, is that sin or not?
But listen to what you just said though. You can be godly.
Godly.
You can't be God.
Exactly. You
So
can't
that's
be God.
what he says as far as the two potentials. Being godly is living of the man.
To have a godly life, but with that, you still won't be perfect.
No, but
Righteous.
You
can
are
be
perfect.
perfect.
You are perfect. You have a perfect sense of what somebody look at you because they want to be
I'm
something.
gonna give you.
To that.
I'm gonna give you 3 minutes.
I take it the way I'm speaking. I'm speaking
Yeah.
from a biblical perspective with man and God. That's the
Me
way I'm
too,
coming from.
and that's why we're gonna improve each other. Because, like I said, men gonna sharpen men today.
No doubt, we
We're
got
gonna
to.
be great.
We got to do that no matter what.
There's 3 men in the Bible that was considered perfect.
Okay.
1 was Moses. 2 was Abraham. 3 was David. What sin did Abraham commit? No, let's do it. Because if it wasn't for Abraham, we wouldn't go through the curse today of baby mamas and sins and war through nations. Okay, but he was perfect. He also lied. And when Most High had to visit men in their dreams and say, if you touch that woman,
It's going to
Yeah,
take up.
it's
It's
gonna
going to
hurt
be
you.
up.
alright, so look, he's perfect. What was the sin Moses created? Or what Moses did? What was the sin?
Well, the Red Sea.
No, that wasn't a sin.
Nah, that's
Nah,
not.
I know, I'm talking to you. But you know, we talking about that Red Sea on a whole different level.
Moses murdered the man,
man.
and then he took credit for something that the Most High was supposed to get. But look, Moses was considered perfect, and Abraham was God's friend, but they did wrong in the flesh.
Yeah.
What about King David? Now tell me what David did.
Okay.
David had adultery, murder. I mean, come on.
He's a
And that
pacifist, everything.
I give you comfort that just like the what was that, Jezebel, she was forget, you know what I mean?
Fruitful.
She was, her honesty made her
I'm not gonna say made it perfect.
not necessarily perfect.
I can't say about her.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying what was written in the scriptures of those 3 men.
Yeah.
That's my example because it says they were perfect. So perfect doesn't mean like Manasseh. I can't say he was perfect, but his reformation was complete to now what a prayer of Manasseh is written in the scriptures. So perfection is obtainable by being balanced. Because even in other religious beliefs, we have the Book of the Dead. It says you can't be overly righteous, you can't be overly wicked. You have to have a balance. Your soul was devoured.
Yeah.
So even with the Most High, perfection is not sinless. Perfection is balance. We're all if we are born within our flesh. There is a sin there because you're going to go through the complications.
Yeah, we were born to sin. We were born to sin, so we all sinners no matter what.
And that is what hip hop is all about.
Yeah.
It's a pool.
Hip hop was born out of pain, from sin. And the sin of hip hop is not what we rap about.
It's what we've been through.
The sin of hip hop is how we don't carry on tradition and teach the baby.
Yeah.
But and when you say that though, a lot of the baby formula is based off the representative.
Come on, keep going.
Because the representative is what you bring into your household and what you have these people face because of the visions. Like we said, as far as the photography of it, because it's a picture form. And then the picture form with the music, as we said earlier, with the beat, it traps these people. And then now they become followers of either, as they say, the biblical aspect of it, when you want to get the gospel hip hop in there, or you want to get the sex, money, murder, music in there on the table. But then, what you just said earlier about being passive and balanced and being perfect, they think that's what's going to take care of them.
Facts, but it goes a little higher than that.
I'm just touching on it.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, we don't want to give up everything because we want people to be in a
position of
idealistic aspect of it. Because if you teach everybody everything, they won't go out there and learn nothing.
Facts, but it goes a little higher than that. Hip hop suffers from Rehoboamism. Who was Rehoboam?
Rehoboam. You lost me on that one.
Rehoboam was Solomon's son.
Okay.
And Solomon told him how to rule the kingdom. And when the elders came to talk to Rehoboam, he listened to his friends. And that was the first time the kingdom was split between the elders and the youth.
Okay.
That has been the battle within our community to keep us weak. And it came from the Master's Plantation, Jim Crow, the bad work compensation treaty that was signed. It came through the Trail of Tears, Reconstruction, Black Wall Street, the prison industrial system to this day. Even in hip hop today, we say hip hop is a young man's game, but it's the elders who are called the gatekeepers, and then you have the Illuminati as well. Yeah. So through Rehoboamism, they have separated the youth from the elder.
They do that in church.
Of course they do. Let's talk about it more with hip hop though.
Yeah, but when you say that with the hip hop aspect of it, when you say we as the undermined people, because we know where we want to go.
Right.
We're put in a stood still position because, like you said earlier, the other version or the upper version people don't want us to get to those levels. So or the control aspect of it. So then a lot of things become falsified because it's passed down differently. So then my way of affecting it, like say when I sit there and write, I don't write to the music. I just pick up a pen and let's go. Because whatever I feel, that belongs to me. My thing is how people going to accept it when they hear it.
And it's not about them.
And right. So like when
your story.
That's what it's true story. So I'm not gonna sit there and always give somebody what they need to hear. It can save me too. But when I write for everybody else. So they can understand where I'm coming from, because I could talk about you and don't even know you.
Now go after you on that one. That's the gift of a real MC. Yeah. You could rap about something that touch somebody's heart, but you're not really talking to them. You can rap somebody's life to them and not rap about life.
A lot of people going through the same thing in life.
Talk about it.
Like the song I got that I left on there. What's the name of that song? Never regret your past. Bring your burdens to the cross.
That's something.
With never regret your past. That was personal to me. I wrote it. But believe it or not, it didn't affect me. It really didn't hit home with me for like 6 or 7 months later. You know what I mean? And it talks about it, and I'm like, wow. Yeah. It really opened me up, and that helped me a little bit more with my humbleness. You know what I mean? That's my biggest thing now. I don't like I was saying earlier. I don't put myself out there to be big on myself and stuff like that. That's what I meant by when I said I let the people judge. I'm just humble, you know what I mean? The word says be humble thyself, you know what I mean? So I stay humble with everything. I know what I got, I know what I can do, but I don't show people that. Because one thing, and I take that for something that my pastor always said. My pastor always said, even if you going through something, beware of what you say, because you don't know what that next man is going through. You know what I mean? So with that, I could be going through something, you could just get over a situation of what I just went through, and that right there could be the one to push you overboard. You know what I mean? So that's how like I write what I feel or what's in me. But even with that, sometimes to switch it up, I ask my pastor, I say, yo, why do I do why do I write the way I do with certain things? He said a lot of times it's all in God's timing. You wrote it, but it may not be for you at that moment, as well as for other people. You know what I mean? I got a couple songs that I wrote, like when I first joined my church, shout out Calvary Baptist East Orange, my pastor told me, he was like, yo, you don't know how motivative and how much you bless me. And this when I was going in my early stages of, you know what I mean, learning the word. I'm like, how can, you the pastor, how can I get me motivate you? But and the key thing he said, your words.
And he
word speaks a million.
And he gave him a different outlook on and what we see. Like we go to, I don't want to call them shows.
We go to minister.
Rehearsals. Because a lot of things that we do, people have done before us, and then sometimes we went there, we improved their situations. Yeah. Because then it's like y'all was the head of the event, and he came in and performed. It's like, well, he wasn't the main attraction.
From another world now. You come, you know what I mean? You hearing the same thing. Okay, you got. It's like you counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Once it becomes repetitious, it gets boring. It gets old. You know the next. It's almost to the point that you know what the next thing gonna say. And so when something gets switched up, it's gonna be different. You know what I mean? So that's what that is.
But the power of life and death is.
The power of life and death.
The power of
mouth. What's your word? What you speak.
So we're gonna come back with the words next.
Okay.
Thank you for watching our presentation. We ask that you subscribe to our YouTube family and hit the notification bell for updates. Please like, comment, and share this video.
Devastating to your ear. Real hip hop. Real hip hop. We here. Real hip hop. For real. Real hip hop.